Today is day 2 of Valorant Champions and we have 3 matches scheduled: ZETA versus LEV, OpTic versus Boom, and PRX versus Leviatán. In this video, I'll be quickly recapping each game, mostly focusing on who wins and by how much, but also showing a few of the more exciting rounds along the way. OpTic's coach Chet did recently test positive for COVID, and Riot have said that the order of matches on a given day is subject to change, but hopefully they still play today. But if OpTic go missing from this video, that's why. Looking at our first game of ZETA versus LEV, LEV are seeming to be the favorites going into this one. Even though LEV did go out in straight sets of the group stage last Masters, I think a lot of people are expecting them to bounce back strong, as they have a lot to prove. Having said that though, ZETA also went on a really good run last time we saw them at Masters, and both of these teams haven't really played at the international level for quite a while, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top here. Before I move on to the next match, I want to mention the sponsor of today's video, EF Defense. EF Defense is a multi-layered tower defense game that just released earlier this year, and it's available on iOS, Android as well as PC. So it's really easy for anyone to download, especially since it is completely free. Personally, I really enjoyed tower defense games, which is what made me want to give EF Defense a try in the first place, and it's a new and upcoming game that's only going to be growing more and more in the future. The goal in the main game mode is to defend your base from the attack of enemies by strengthening and deploying your own units against them, such as the new hero Devil Spear, who just got added in a recent big update to the game. In this update, they also added the Forge, which you can use to produce custom and high-level equipment for your heroes to use. This game is made unique with the diverse heroes and enemies you'll find yourself discovering as you progress through the game. There are even different maps like the human map or the orc map, which correspond to the different heroes that you're using. Another feature is that you can set protectors on your battlefields and use their powerful skills to turn the tide of the battle in your favor. On top of all that, there's more to EF Defense than just the traditional model of defending your kingdom if that's not for you. You can go to the frontier to fight enemy bases, or you can go to the arena where you can fight other players with your best heroes. Again, EF Defense is completely free to download. You can either use the link in the description or the QR code on the screen to get EF Defense for yourself today and try it out. Thanks again to EF Defense for sponsoring this video. The maps for this match are Ascent, Fracture, and then Bind for the third map if it's required. Now, Ascent is probably LEV's best map, and it's almost surprising that ZETA didn't ban it. Both teams opted for a Killjoy over a Chamber, probably due to the fact that the Chamber nerfs have finally gone live to this pro level, and that sort of brings Killjoy back into relevancy, at least on Ascent. The round that I want to show from this game is just a little bit of individual brilliance from Sugar Zero on the Astra. So you'll see here, he is watching the flank, but this Killjoy gets a really lucky timing on him, because you'll see he goes into his astral form for a moment, and even though he actually walks right past in front of him, they completely miss each other. So the Killjoy finds a really nice timing here, and then as a result of that, he's going to get this flank, get this free kill onto Fade, and now it looks like LEV are just going to close in on this site and then get an easy defuse. But what they didn't account for is the fact that who they're up against is Sugar Zero, who, as you're about to see, is an absolutely insane Astra.
Show up in time. Pass is weak. Sure.
He didn't get half.
Yeah, he's pulled him off. Turret cleared out 58 HP. He has to push forward. He's got past the shot. The spam is there. A 1v1. Pass weak. Sugar Zero as well. The tap, the swing, the shots, and Sugar Zero with the Red Bull clutch.
What a play!
And as impressive as that was actually the only round that ZETA ended up winning on attack. They had a pretty good first half, but then LEV are regarded as one of the best defensive teams in the world. Ascent is a pretty defensive map, and it just really shows here they were down 5-7 at halftime and ended up winning the map 13-7. Heading into Fracture, both teams are on newer comps that we haven't really seen them play before. LEV are going for the double controller with the Omen for one-ways, meanwhile ZETA opt for the double duelist and a Neon. Neither of these team comps are shocking for Fracture by any means, but it is a new look for both teams. The round that I want to look at for Fracture is going to be round 12. It starts off pretty explosively. You'll see here, I want to look at the Raze on LEV. As fast as you can see, it's going to ult into tower to try and get this Chamber, and then Chamber lies there with the Judge manages to kill the Raze and TP out in time, so ZETA have the advantage. But now you'll see the Viper here, Static, is going to go crazy. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets the third as well. So it does come to this 2v2, but then the round is just going to cool off a lot from here. And then LEV do have this Chamber ult. You can see here, gets the Chamber kill there. And then it's 1v2 that 10 is unfortunately not able to clutch. Take a look again at this Raze ult though, from the point of view of the Chamber first, is fully blind as well. Manages to hit that shot and teleport out. And then the Razor's point of view, he just has no idea what hit him. That was pretty exciting. The scoreline for Fracture is honestly a pretty similar story as to what we had on Ascent. It's close up until half time, but then LEV just run away on defense. Specifically on Fracture, Sadak just went insane, nearly a 2KD as the IGL for Lad, and playing on Viper as well. Overall, this was pretty much the expected result from this match. Lad did really well defensively on both maps, and to be honest, I think ZETA almost looked a little bit disconnected from each other on their attacking side, again on both maps. What this means now is that Lad move on to the winners match, meanwhile ZETA will have to verse the loser of OpTic and Boom in an elimination match. Speaking of OpTic and Boom, they are going to be the second match for today. OpTic are even more favored in this match than Lad were in the last one, so I think it's pretty expected that OpTic are going to have a dominant performance here against Boom. The maps for this series are going to be Breeze, then Bind, and the third map, if it's required, is going to be Fracture. So Breeze is going to be Boom's pick up first, and both teams have the exact same team comp. Pretty standard for Breeze. The round I want to talk about for Breeze is one that OpTic definitely should have won. So it's round 7 here, and they're going to use 2 ultimates. They're going to use their Jet ultimate and their Chamber ultimate straight away. They're instantly going to get 2 picks. They're up 5-3. They still have Jet knives up. They still have Chamber ult up. This should not be a round that they're losing. Now you can see Ye here. He's going to get a little bit too eager up mid. He's going to find this kill, and this means the trademark goes down. This trademark is now gone. So these 2 players are able to come in for the flank. Mafta isn't aware the flank's open. You get an easy kill like that. FNS is also going to go down, and all of a sudden, this round has gone from being a clean win to OpTic to a free round for Boom. And you'll see now, because 2 people got through on the flank, the Viper's going to be able to get a kill there onto Victor, and crashes it just off in no man's land. This round should have been a win for OpTic, and they just completely threw it. And the reason I picked that round in particular is because you can see this game went all the way down to 16-18. I could have shown a few other rounds, a few nice plays and stuff, but that round would have been so easy for OpTic to win. And I mean, I don't want to trash them too hard. They are OpTic after all. Everyone knows they're good, but that round would have been really easy for them to win. And then I don't think this map would have gone all the way to 16-18, and probably wouldn't have even gone to overtime if OpTic just held on to that round. Props to the Viper player though as well. On Boom, literally dropped 38 kills. I mean, even though there was a lot of overtime rounds, you can see the next highest was 29 for Ye. Now heading over to Bind, obviously this is going to be OpTic's map pick. You can see the different team comps here. Even though Breeze just went the full distance, 16-18, OpTic are probably going to have a bit more luck on their map pick. And the round I want to look at for Bind is going to just be the third round, so still pretty early into this game, so anything can happen. But it is going to be a bonus for OpTic here, and you can see pretty much just on the back of FNS, they're going to win this round. He's just sitting here under hookah, gets 3 kills with a Spectre, even though Boom all have rifles, and then at this point, the round is pretty much just over. After they only survived with 2, but still pretty convincing bonus win, and then they actually end up winning 8 rounds in a row after this. So yeah, for Bind, you can see the final scoreline there ended up being 13-15. Not really too much to say about this one, to be honest. I think the scoreboard sort of speaks for itself. Ye was just sort of unleashed this game. OpTic played really well as a team, and they owned their map pick. Fracture is obviously well known as being a good map for OpTic. They were basically the team who first had a lot of success with the Neon, and you would not want to be Boom having to go up against them on Fracture for map 3. And it is actually also going to be a mirror matchup, so Boom are basically playing OpTic's team composition into OpTic, which you can imagine how that's going to go. This round that I'm going to show you from Fracture, I'm just going to let it speak for itself. No need to do a breakdown or anything here. Just watch this and be blown away.
Silence. No! No way! No way! Not like this! No way! I mean, look at Crush, he's smiling. He's smiling when he's kind of picking it up. He's just smiling. He's just smiling. He's a psychopath.
So as you might be able to guess, after that round, the game was over. They were only down by like 5 rounds, but your mental is never going to recover from that. And Ye was also going crazy. He went 19-4. The rest of the series as well, even though Breeze was a really close game, that was Boom's map pick, and then the other 2 maps were pretty much just complete blowouts. Yeah, he just got better as the series went on, and that one round on Fracture, that round is going to go down in history books for sure. So what this means now for Group B is that OpTic and Lad will face off in the winners match to go straight through the playoffs, and Boom, Esports, and ZETA will verse each other in the elimination match. Now onto the final match of the day is PRX versus Leviatán. As the runners-up of Copenhagen, I think everyone expects PRX to beat Leviatán here, but I have the hope that Leviatán will be able to put up a good fight, and they're probably my favorite team in this tournament, and I definitely want to see them making it into playoffs. The maps for the series are Haven first, then Bind, and lastly Pearl if we go to a map 3. I really like PRX's comp on Haven with the Astra, and I think that alone does give PRX an advantage, even though this is Leviatán's map pick. So the round I want to showcase for Haven is purely around Leviatán, and it's mostly right at the start what is about to happen here. It's a set play with the Fade Seas and the Raid Stage. You see it go right here, and Poor Forsaken, he doesn't even have a chance to react. He just instantly dies to that combo, insanely strong, and it's such a good set play. It's obviously quite a common one, but it's so good seeing it work out in real time. And the rest of this round is going to work out very well for Leviatán as well. They play off each other so well on this retake. And you can see here, all these 3 players outside in C-Link, they're all just going to retake in at the same time. And they don't even, like, none of them even died. They don't have to trade each other. They all just work together to get kills. And overall, just a really good round there from Leviathan. And despite what I said earlier about the Astra pick on Haven, Leviathan actually went on to win this map pretty convincingly, 8-13. Parker was playing really well. The whole team was playing really well. And they just looked super, super strong on Haven. Now, going into Bind, it's always been one of PRX's best maps. And Forsaken on the Euro especially is a pretty unique pick that not many other teams do, and it works really, really well for them, especially as they also put Benkai on the Breach. That combination is pretty insane, and so it's nearly impossible, I would say, to beat PRX on Bind. So I had a really tough time deciding what round to show this match on Bind. It was an insanely good one. I'd recommend watching it in full. I started on this round here, mostly because of how PRX play this. I don't think I play it well. The first two dying is alright, but then Jing and Forsaken in particular, they just push out when I don't think they need to. Like, Jing overheats a bit. This one is bad in itself, and then Forsaken just runs out of the teleporter into two people. I'm not sure why he's done that. Like, I don't know what he was thinking there, really. And in general, all of PRX, they just played really not with each other at all. And additionally, in the midst of all that, Shy on the Fade was actually the one getting all the kills, so he is also going to pick up Benkai here and get the ace for the round. He went insane on this entire map, Shy. It was a really good match for him. Yeah, I don't want to say PRX threw this round because it was never really theirs to throw. It was a crucial match, and they just didn't play it very well, and they sort of just fed kills to Leviathan. So miraculously, even after I just said it was impossible, Leviathan did actually manage to beat PRX on Bind. It was a really entertaining match. Again, I would recommend watching it in full, and I'm really impressed that Leviathan were able to beat PRX again on Bind of all maps. Shy on the Fade went absolutely crazy, and it was a really good performance from Leviathan as a whole. Bind especially was great to watch, and then the series as a whole, Leviathan and PRX, is a really good battle. And I think now people are finally going to be taking Leviathan more seriously and keeping a close eye on them. What this means now for Group A is that Leviathan are qualified into the playoffs. Meanwhile, PRX will need to beat the winner of Edward vs Liquid if they want to join Leviathan in making it out of Group A. So that is going to be all for Day 2 of Valorant Champions 2022. Once again, hopefully you enjoyed this recap or found it informative, and hopefully you'll be back here tomorrow for Day 3.